look at what the mosquitoes are doing to me. Oh, what are you cooking on the fire there, babe? Straighten this out. Do you think it's not a creek or no T&A creek? And stand on here and look out over all. Oh, look at my tired eyes though. I know, my goodness. It's a really, really pretty spot. It's in here. Oh my god. Yum. Hey YouTube, what's up? It's me, One Wild Crafter. Did you recognize me? Look at this. I'm all dressed up because I'm hiking on the Ottawa Highland Trail. Sorry, the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail. And this is a hike that we started 2 years ago. It's a 100-kilometer trail through rugged terrain with beautiful scenic lookouts. And we did about 40 kilometers and we tapped out partway through. And this was our chance to revisit this trail. So it's June 20th. We got dropped off at the Matabitchuan power station, which is where we stopped last year. And we are hiking through. Right now we just passed the Vulture's Nest, if you've looked at this map online. And you can get all the trail maps at nestogantrails.com or .ca. I'll post a link. And we're just headed for a campsite called Aaron's Camp. How long have I been talking? A minute? 2 minutes? I want you to look at what the mosquitoes are doing to me in that short amount of time. Come on. That's just not fair. So many of them. Anyway, we're out and about. We left at noon today. It's about 5 o'clock. We have a couple more kilometers to go. And we're hoping that it's a nice campsite with a bit of a breeze and fewer mosquitoes, because they're pretty brutal. I guess the advantage to coming out on this trail in June is that you're not likely to see anybody else because of the mosquitoes. And I don't know what I've done here. I hit something on my menu. Hopefully we're still recording. It looks like it. So probably coming out at a cooler time of year when there's fewer mosquitoes, you'd run into a few more hikers. Beautiful, beautiful country. We're following basically scenic high points of land along the Lake Temiskaming shores. Starting from the north end, we're headed south. A friend dropped us off and another friend is going to pick us up in 5 days' time. So along the way I'll show you some of the views and some of the gear that we packed for this trip. Trying to travel light, of course, as well as some of the food that we brought. This is what we just bypassed around. There was a flooded beaver dam, so that cost us probably an extra kilometer going around. And now we are headed uphill. I'll check back in a bit. If you've never hiked this trail before, this is what you're looking for. These white square markers mark all the main trails. And if you follow the trail far enough, sprinkled along the way, you're rewarded with these really, really great vistas. Alright, it's 9:15 and it is much darker than this camera lets on. In here it looks really bright, but I think I might have got a few bug bites today. Look at that. So we are at the site called Aaron's Beach. If you're downloading waypoints for the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail. And here we've got a fire going to try and kill mosquitoes. We've got a bunch of food that we're going to cook up. We're basically putting together some gnocchi, some sardines. We've got some water. Sorry for the unsteady camera. water boiling over here in a little folding stove. We have oyster mushrooms, we have spruce tips, we have, what else?
Oh, that's actually just some medicine.
Okay.
I thought the jewelweed might help with our mosquito bites.
Yeah.
Spruce tips, some rose petals.
Rose petals, just a few things we grabbed along the way. This is the shores of Lake Temiskaming. And we are so happy to be at this site, even though it's getting kind of late, 9:15, because we got separated today for probably 2 hours. I stopped to film that little intro. Delphine went ahead, and then when I was done filming, I started booting down the trail because I thought she was ahead of me. And I kept booting down the trail, and I saw a couple tracks that I thought were hers, and a couple little poke holes in the ground that looked like they were made by a pair of walking sticks, because she's walking with 2 walking sticks. And then I got a couple of clues that she was not ahead of me, which is that I found 3 patches of oyster mushrooms that were unmolested, and I knew that she would not have let them alone, so I thought, oh crumbs, she's behind me somewhere. And I knew exactly where she would have taken a wrong turn. But at that point, I was almost here. And so I dropped my bag about 500 meters up the trail from here, and I packed an emergency kit. And then I went back, which was over 2 kilometers of this trail to where we were last separated. And found a tent set up, a little fire had been built. She hadn't had supper yet, but she was prepared to just wait it out. And that's kind of our fault for not sharing the maps. I had a GPS, but she did not. And we didn't really discuss what the trail looked like up ahead and what to do if we did get separated, which seemed really unlikely, but then it happened, and we got through it. So instead of getting here at a decent time, we got here pretty late, but we're making the most of it. I'm gonna jump in the lake. Tomorrow's National Aboriginal Day. It's solstice. It is apparently also International Hike Naked Day. So we'll have a lot of celebrations tomorrow. I'm not going to film any more tonight. We'll check back in at breakfast, and maybe there'll be some footage of us hiking naked. Ciao. Well, the night went pretty well. We slept okay. Woke up with lots and lots of bug bites, of course. And we're gonna get ourselves a little bit of breakfast going. And our day tomorrow is probably gonna be the same in distance as our day today, except that we'll have an earlier start and should either finish earlier in the day or just be able to have a slower day. That'd be alright. We are so covered in bug bites. A couple of good bruises. Our shoes didn't dry out overnight. That's not too surprising. I think we might have a couple creek crossings today. Fall Creek and Fern Creek. And we're aiming to hike from here, which is Aaron's Creek, over to Nagle Bay and camp there. So we're gonna get a little bit of coffee going. Delphine's got one of these titanium coffee presses. We're gonna do up a little backpacker's pantry breakfast, just because it looked really, really tempting when we saw them in the store. And then tonight I've got some meals ready to eat that were given to Chris and I by one of his subscribers. I haven't eaten any of them yet, or ever in my life, so that'll be a new experience. I watched a crazy Russian hacker YouTube video review, so I kind of got the gist of how you work your way through one of those. And we'll see how it goes. The supper last night was really, really good. We actually had a package of gnocchi and we heated that up, and Delphine had brought 2 tins of mackerel. We threw the mackerel in, plus those other spices. I think maybe I already talked about that a little bit last night, but that really hit the spot. Anyway, we'll get this up to a boil and get at her. Coffee pot. Perfect, it had just come to a boil. I was so dubious about these stoves when they first came out, but
I love it.
like you cook so much food on twigs.
Yep.
It's just crazy. It has a tiny spout, eh?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
It's still pouring out coffee.
Yeah, well. Fair enough.
A-okay.
Fair enough.
Look how much is in there. Ooh.
This is what we're going to breakfast on. Maybe some granola as well. I hope them all dried in there. It looks like when you buy party mix snack foods, like cheesies, but they're dehydrated eggs or freeze dried.
Yeah, we'll be able to do that next year.
Conveyor system for our fire logs.
We should have saved it for our original idea, though, Ben.
Yeah.
The beer can conveyor.
Yeah. I don't know if that's all in frame, but oh yeah, it's all in frame. So we were going to use a line of beer cans and have a log on the beer cans that just kind of, you just keep pushing it along and it feeds in here. You've probably seen people doing just feeding like fairly large logs into these firebox stoves instead of cutting every little piece. Oh, cheers.
Cheers, babe.
Now for the main course. Look at all that steam. We could see our breath this morning, by the way. It was, they were forecasting 6 degrees. I'm not sure what we actually got. But... Do you have a fancy stirrer anywhere, babe? Oh wait, here's one. I'm gonna just pull that bark off the end. This is the one that I cleaned the pot with. I'm growing a little bit partial to it. Stir. I saw that you can buy these foil or mylar pouches here in Ontario. You can get them in Canadian Tire. I don't know where else you can get them. I was a little bit tempted to buy them for cooking in on camping trips, but I'd be interested to hear if anybody's used them and likes them or dislikes them. Please comment below and educate me about them. This sits for 8 to 10 minutes now. Let's see what we got in here. Oh! I don't know.
Does it look good?
I don't know if that's going to be any good. It looks a little bit like a breadcrumb omelet. We're going to save this as a garbage bag for some of our garbage. So, there. That's what you get out of, this is a mountain house. It is not Backpacker's Pantry, as I might have said earlier. Mountain house breakfast skillet, freeze-dried, hash brown scrambled eggs mixed with pork sausage, peppers, and onions. Let's see what we're getting into here. It tastes like all the things they said on the package. That's pretty good, actually. That is good. And there are 660 calories in that meal. Oh, we're gonna split that. Yum. This is the 2 minutes after leaving our campsite check-in. So Aaron's Beach, we literally stepped on the boulders, crossed the creek, came down the path, and came to this campsite. It's got benches, it's got a clothesline, it's got like a mega heavy-duty fire grill that actually looks like something you could use to drive an ATV up onto your truck. It's got a beautiful campsite with a tripod. It's got a little folding chair. It's got pre-cut, split, dried firewood. And it's got almost as good of a tenting spot as we set up our tent on, but there's other flat spots around. Yeah. So that was kind of funny to come up on that. There's Delphine in the background. Good morning. And so here we are, like 2 minutes into our day's journey. It's 9 o'clock. Kind of a late start, but we got all day. Alright, this is a bucket list moment for me. A little ovenbird came flying out under my feet and did a little broken wing fake. It's just over here. I don't know if I can zoom in on him. Oh, he flew. But look, this is, they call it the ovenbird because it builds a little nest on the ground but covered over top, like a little bake oven. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of baby birds in there. And I've probably for 20 years been trying to find ovenbird nests. That's my first one on the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail. So I'm super excited about that. I feel a little badly that it's almost exactly underfoot for people walking the trail, but I don't think there's too many people out at this time of year, and maybe they'll be all right. I'm only about a minute further along from where we saw the ovenbird, and we realized this is the Fern Creek campsite. So it is a bush campsite. If you have a little look around behind me, you're in shady hardwoods, and this site is named for Fern Creek, which is just over here. So there's lots of firewood, lots of flat spots for tenting. You're out of the sun, and you have nice fresh water at this site. So what we're doing right now, I just filled my bag filter. We're going to water up and then have a little snack, and then from here we're going to carry on. We're about almost 3 hours into our hike today. This little walkout, this is just up from Ferns Creek. You can come out to this ledge. This is a spectacular view. Wow. Feels like it's the kind of crumbly rock that might just let go one day. But you can stand on here and look out over all of this part of Lake Temiskaming, the hills. That's actually, is that the dam?
I wondered.
That way off in the distance, you see that, right? That there might be right where we started, the Matabitchuan Dam. We started a little bit upstream from there. So it doesn't look like that far from here, but that's been our whole 24 hours of hiking to get to this spectacular view. Can you get a sense for how far it is down there?
Oh my God.
It's like a, don't fall. Don't fall. I'm not going to drop anything. This is like the Eagle Vision perch. For anybody who plays Assassin's Creed, video game reference. It's never super. It's a really nice lookout. This is where we are. We are at the Fall Creek Camp. Just got here, and our goal today is to get to Nagle Bay, but we're going to have a little nap. It's about 2 o'clock. Have a little nap and then think about that other portion of our hike. Look at this really nice campsite. Unused fire pit. There's no ashes there, eh?
No.
Or someone just swept it out really well. There's all blocks of wood for seats. There's a table with dry firewood underneath. A nice bench. And a nice hiker. There's all these little tenting spots along here. Look at this. Another table. Somebody left a saw behind. There's a whole whack of dry firewood here. There's even a shovel. Beautiful big white pine trees, cedar trees. It's really, really nice. So we're gonna set up our tent, have a little nap, have a little snack, have some water, and then carry on. We had almost an hour nap. It was pretty glorious, and then when the alarm went off, I forgot where I was. So we're back to hiking, but look, while we were sleeping, can you see, there's so many. So many. These are not biting bugs. They're just like house flies. There's no house here, so I'm calling them homeless flies. And there's piles of them. I think they like my sweat. We are headed south to Nagle Bay. We just left our napping spot. And this is pretty interesting. I mean, it's not going to show great on camera, except You can see piles of dead wood here. And it looks like we're covering a piece of the trail that had experienced a microburst, and there's downed trees everywhere. And so I'm just imagining the people who are dedicated to maintaining this trail and hauled the chainsaw back here and cut down all this fallen wood to keep this segment of trail open. I think it would not have been any small feat. And despite all this downfall, this piece of trail is not so bad. It's pretty good. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail is sort of advertised or described as a rugged and difficult trail, which has exactly been our experience. We did hike the northern portion of the trail a few years ago, and we had to tap out after 3 days. We definitely lost some toenails from that trip, and I aggravated a nerve in my foot, which I think is because I was trying to hike in like ultralight sneakers, basically, like flat, no heel shoes, and that kind of did me in. And the other day I went and I picked up these. These used to be black, now they're covered in pollen. So these are, what does it say on them? I just got them. I don't want to say there's something other than what they are. That would be silly. I'll have to check them after. I'll check after and I'll let you know. I was looking between Keens and Merrill's. Oh, it's Keen. These are Keen hiking boots, it says right on them. And so far, I like them. Keeping my feet pretty comfortable. So we have 4 kilometers in this stretch. I'm actually keeping track on the GPS to see how far we've gone and what our average speed is, which is that we have gone 1.3 kilometers of our 4 kilometer trip. So check back in a bit. Baby ruffed grouse. Mama is over here. Oop. Sloppy camera work here. She's right there. She did a little wing display, and she sounds like a bit like a puppy. The way she's trying to distract us, so I'll go follow her, and we'll see. She's gonna lead us away. It's really hard to catch it on camera. I don't think you'll see it. Anyway, she's pretty happy to lead us away from her chick, and we are not going to bother her. Here.
Hello.
So we are headed towards Nagle Bay, which is down there, and we came a little bit downhill from up there. So this is level, that's up, this is level, and then down, and in the book it says there's a 200-meter elevation drop. However, the trail sign also told us that it was 4 kilometers to get to the Nagle Bay campsite, and we're already past 4 kilometers by a fair bit, and it looks like we have a fair bit to go too to get down there. So I'll be interested to try and check the distances on my GPS for other trail sections compared to what they post on the little maps, because I think they might not always be very accurate. Anyway, it's also super buggy, and we are really looking forward to a beach and a fire and a tent, supper, a swim, all those things. Well, we made it, but I'll show you this. Is that going to focus? It was 5.6 kilometers, not the 4 kilometers that was indicated on that sign. So that took us a little extra time. A little bit disappointed to not be able to rely on those trail distances. But this is the Nagle Bay campsite. And there's a very nice fire pit. There's a shovel and a fork against the tree over there. This is Delphine in her superhuman cape. Lots of seating, lots of big firewood, but we didn't bring anything to split it. And then there's a bunch of nice flat spots. At least 3 good tenting spots here. So what we're gonna do is just kind of catch our breath and get some supper going and set up camp. May or may not film some of that. We'll check back in. All right. I'll bring my face down here for a short while, and then I'm just gonna do some work on this stump. So we're making some soup. We bought some dried soup mix from a bulk store, to which we're going to add some oyster mushrooms that we picked, and also some, what else are we adding to that? Leeks that we brought, and some sweet fern maybe for spice. I'm also going to eat, maybe Delphine will have some too, my first ever MRE US ration, and I'm so excited about this, mainly because they're so heavy. I think I'm going to eat the heaviest one tonight, whichever one that's going to be, which is like maybe this one. Brisket entree gravy with seasoned beef brisket slices. I'm going to have one of these. And that's going to lighten my backpack significantly. I thought these were I've never had one before. I didn't really know that much about them. I thought that these were a like a full day kind of a deal, but they are more in the range of 1,400 calories. I guess you need 3 of them to get you through a day. Let's see what's in here. Let's rip this thing open. Double wrapped. I'm interested to hear from some of you guys who have used these before. Like, my initial impression is that I would not take these on a hiking trip necessarily again. Natural butter flavored granules, garlic mashed potatoes. It's got the nutritional information on it. Comes with its own spoon. Grape jelly. White wheat snack bread. Tootsie Rolls.
Oh my god.
Tootsie Rolls?
That's not dinner.
Well, no, these are like, they're like a 3-course meal. Peanut butter? Oh man, I'm so excited now, just for the peanut butter. Oh my goodness. Babe, Irish cream cappuccino instant powder.
Alright then.
I might have to eat my words. Maybe I'm gonna pack these all the time. Oatmeal chocolate chunk cookie.
Mine. I called it.
Okay, what are all these things? Lighthouse, gum. Oh, there's the raspberry flavored drink mix, and there's like a little towelette. Garlic mashed potatoes, that's this one. And beef brisket entree. Cool. Okay, now I'm gonna open this up. What is this? It's like a piece of bread. You want a piece of bread? I have a piece of bread, and I'm gonna put some peanut butter on it. Want some peanut butter bread? Okay, this feels warm right through, so I'm thinking it must be ready. Let's try these mashers. Tastes like mashed potatoes. Yeah, it didn't get that hot. Probably mixed that up a little bit. But it's got a good spice to it. Yeah, I'm eating inside of my mosquito net. That's edible. Edible, but far from incredible. And well, let's throw these butter buds on there. What else would you do with butter flavored powder? I don't think that this is going to stand up to Delphine's soup. That's my feeling. We'll see. So, while I've been unwrapping a plastic meal, Delphine was cooking this. What is in there?
Oyster mushrooms, wild leeks that we picked last year, and mackerel.
Ooh. Sounds good. That funny noise is not Delphine farting, it's just the oil boiling in this mackerel can. Oh my god! What is that?
And this is la soup.
How much do you think that much soup cost in that dry mix?
I don't remember.
It was like a couple of bucks.
Yeah, it was $2.40, I think.
$2.40 for the whole bag?
Yeah.
And you used half the bag?
2/3.
2/3. I have to look up later. I gotta find out what a meal ready to eat and MRE costs. I bet you they're not very economical.
Well, our breakfast this morning was $11.50, right?
I think that one was $9.
Oh, $9.
Yeah, the Mountain House.
Breakfast.
There you can see we've got our stuff strewn all over the place. Tent set up. Got water filter hanging over here. And life is pretty good because it's not even 8 o'clock yet. So we're so much further ahead of where we were last time.
Because I didn't get lost.
Because Delphine didn't get lost. Do I look like a beekeeper? I'm rocking the apiarist look. Delphine too, but she's like super beekeeper. You're still wearing your cape, eh, babe?
Yes.
Look at that. Super power enhancing cape. It's keeping the mosquitoes off.
It's my chef cape.
Well, it's the morning time, and we're just packing up. We had a look at the map this morning. Possibly there's a second campsite not very far ahead of us with a beach, which is what we were hoping for. So we'll see as we're hiking out. Our destination is Campment Bay, and it is 8.5 kilometers according to the map. And I think I'm going to turn the GPS on and truth check that to see if that is the right distance. There's nothing in between here and there really on the map, so it's just like a long hike. Probably lots of good views of Lake Temiskaming. Pretty quiet morning, pretty quiet evening. Actually, really quiet evening, eh? Because we weren't down by the lake. It was like super quiet.
Yeah, it was very
There was nothing going on. So we'll see what we see today. It's pretty buggy here. So we left the Nagle Bay campsite. We did not find another campsite along the way, so then we felt good that we did get into the best campsite that was available at that spot. And the trail takes us down into this little shallow bay, and it even has a nice little sandy patch here by this rock. So we have stripped down, had a cool off in the lake, got a few new bug bites, but it might have been worth it. Hey, it might even look a little bit clean. It's hard to tell in the shade here.
You do.
Oh, thanks. And so we're just getting all our stuff back together, and we'll hit the trail again. So we did 3 point something. We're almost halfway to Grand Campment Bay, which is our target for today. So we've walked our 8.5 kilometers, at which point we're supposed to be at Grand Campment Bay, but we are not there yet. So I think the distance is underestimated on that trail, so I'm tracking it on my GPS, and we'll see how far it actually is. We've been following a really nice red pine ridge. Wow, there were 4 deer flies on my wrist at once while I'm talking. Oops, these guys here. So the walking actually hasn't been that bad, except for a few uphills and downhills. Really nice view of the river all the way along, and pretty nice, except that, you know, maybe we wouldn't do this at a buggy time of year again, because they're really putting a damper on things. But other than that, it's going pretty well. So, a little snack and then back to the trail. We are at Grand Campment Bay. So coming from the north, we passed a turnoff for a site called Point Camp. We came around the bay. You can't see it, but it's down there. Around the bay, and then crossed the little creek on a couple of fallen trees. Here's the map giving all the distances. So we came from Nagle Bay, and it says that it's 8.5 kilometers away. But if you look here by my thumb, if I can get rid of the glare here a little bit. It's very reflective, isn't it? How can we turn it so you can see the numbers? Right there, is that focused? Anyway, it says 10.68. So it's supposed to be 8.5. We came 10.68. So that's significantly farther. It's an extra 2 kilometers. It's an extra 25% distance. But I'll tell you when you really feel it is when your GPS says you've walked 8 kilometers and you think it's only another 500 meters, and then it's not. That's when you really feel it. So, anyway, we're here. There's a campsite over there, 200 meters. There is a campsite right over here. We're going to scope them both out. It's still early in the day. How early, you ask? 2:30. It's 2:30, so we might also just have a break and then maybe try and get ahead to the next campsite, but I'll keep you updated. Whew. We are not at Grand Campment. We didn't like that spot that much, and we were just planning out our next couple of days, and we wanted to grab a few more kilometers on the trail. So we scoped out the map, and it's been a slow go, but this is Grand Campment Bay, and we came up, and this takes you out to Rabbit Lake Road. We took the fork, so this is the new extension that takes you to McLaren's Bay. And I think that we are here, and we just have to do this little circle and cross the creek, and then we'll be at our next campsite. But I kind of counted that off based on these little doohickeys, and I thought it would be about 2.5 kilometers. And we're not there yet, and we have already been hiking for how many kilometers?
Ever.
Forever, Delphine says. For 4 kilometers we've been hiking. And for, I don't know how long, over an hour anyway, according to, sorry, I'm just pushing my watch button here, we've been hiking for 2 hours. So it's been pretty brutal. We're out of energy, but we still got a little ways to go. Can't even hold the camera straight. Check back in when we get there. Well, we made it to Owen Creek, and it is a very welcome sight. We just cross here on boulders. It's also a very pretty sight. It's not going to show well on camera, but there's this big cliff behind there, and all broken rock tumbled down into the creek here. And I'll just take you across with me, I guess. Oh! Some nice gravelly bits. I don't know if there'd be pools in here for trout, but it's got the look of it. Head to our campsite. Oh, look at my tired eyes, though.
I know, my goodness.
It's morning. So where did we leave off? We crossed the creek. When we came down the creek, we followed the path to where the campsite should be. We did not. Didn't find a campsite. So Delphine collected some water, and I went up the hill another 200 or 300 meters, and there was still no campsite. So I had a little look around down at the bottom here by the creek. Still no campsite. So we are in the tent, which we pitched on the trail because it was the only flat spot anywhere down here. We actually ate 2 of those meals ready to eat in the tent last night, and they were perfect for our situation and condition. There were Skittles in one of them. That's so good. Yet. No. Look at these. Where are they? Skittles. We had a spaghetti and beef sauce. That was what Delphine had. And I had a chicken, what did I have? Chicken teriyaki or something like that?
Yeah, chicken and noodles.
That's pretty good. Chicken and noodles. Yep.
Oh, look at it.
Oh, I should get real fogged up. I don't know if I want to rub that lens too much. Shouldn't have breathed on it, maybe.
We'll have to cut and come back.
Or it's the temperature. Camera got cold outside, and then it came in and the warm air condensed on the lens. But look, look up here.
Looking on your side also. Behind it.
We've been sleeping to the sound of thousands of mosquitoes all night. And you know, usually mosquitoes at some point they just stop being bad, they all go away. That didn't happen here. And so we really want to go and make a coffee and get out of here. But we have to face those mosquitoes as soon as we open up the tent doors. And there's deer flies up there. Oh, maybe a black fly. But mostly mosquitoes. And last night I changed shirts, and it took them about 2 seconds to catch me and bite me.
Oh, going to the bathroom was horrible.
Oh, Delphine had to get up twice in the night to pee. We never saw anybody dive into a tent so fast. Nor so gracefully. Sorry, I meant gracelessly.
Thank you. Thanks for picking it up.
I'll stick with gracefully. So, I'm just letting you admire all these mosquitoes as we have been, as we contemplate getting out of this tent. I am probably not going to film us making coffee or anything, but later up the trail, we will update. So we're at Owen Creek. Did I mention it took us 7.7 kilometers to get here?
And it looked like
7.7 and it looked like 3 on the map. oh, let's just grab a couple extra kilometers because it's early in the day still. So we left at 3. It took us until 7 o'clock to get our 7.7 kilometers. And then we were in bed by 8:30 in this crummy campsite that isn't a campsite. That's all I gotta say. We are at Cascade Creek, or at least in the Temiskaming Highland, Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail book, it's called Cascade Creek. The little trail sign up the way called it Not a Creek Campsite with hyphens. And this is what we've got here. So we were 2.96 kilometers to come to the fork, and then 270 meters coming down this steep embankment hill, ridge, whatever you want to call it. But there is a beautiful little fire pit. There's a couple of these seats. From here you have a nice little view down to the lake, and we're going to scope it out for swimming. There's room for a few tents here, depending on how fussy you are about the flatness of your tenting spot. And look at this gorgeous little creek. It's super cute. Where we crossed a few 100 meters up, it's all little rock shelves, and the water just comes down and down and down and down. But here it's much more bouldery. Whew. And then it just comes out and dumps into the lake over here. My filter has gotten significantly plugged on this trip. I think from all that pollen water I was scooping at some of the other water stops. So there's not a lot of flow in here right now. Part of the problem too might be I saw there was a split in my hose, so anyway, I'm gonna deal with it. I didn't check this before I came, but oh no, there's lots of fuel in there. Didn't seem to want to light. Brought a backup too, though. Made the bigger fire just to smoke the bugs out a little bit. And we're using this little folding stove for most of our cooking, and I do think they're pretty fabulous contraptions. Just like so. And then, because I've already got a fire going, I can just transfer some burning sticks in there. And we'll get some coffee water boiling. This stump, I'm using it as a base because it's nice and flat, and it was pretty rotten on the bottom, so I don't think it'll light. But after, we can just throw it in the fire or throw it in the lake to make sure that it doesn't start a fire after we leave. So our luxury today is, unbeknownst to us, the MREs sometimes have creamer and sugar, and so we didn't pack anything like that. We were drinking black coffee, so we're doing it up today. Oh, what are you cooking on the fire there, babe? Warming up the underpants, drying them off. Nice.
We finally got them washed.
We're boiling our water. We've been reduced to boiling water because the filter is going so slow. Even though I washed it in the creek. Oh, the fire. The fire. Oh, I look like all painted up for something. Blood. Oh, that's a mosquito. There's a few of them around. There's a few of them. Anyway, after we have enough water, we're getting out of here. Onwards and upwards. Hey, babe.
Yeah?
Come and have a look at this.
I don't know if I want to.
You don't know if you want to? Well, I'm just got to straighten this out. Do you think it's not a creek or no T&A creek?
I think it's definitely no TA creek.
Okay, that's what I was worried about.
I think we ruined that this morning. Though.
We better find ourselves a new campsite. Still mosquito-y out, and we just arrived at Fleury Creek. So I'll just give you a little peek. This is the supplement book. If you're hiking the Wild Temiskaming trails, of which the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail is a part. Delphine's swatting my bugs here. And this is the main book. And they're pretty good if you want to see an overall route map and lots of descriptions of the trail. But here, for example, it says from Fleury Creek to Cascade Creek is 2 kilometers of rolling terrain, etc., etc. And we just came from Cascade Creek to Fleury Creek, and we have done 3.15 kilometers. It's up here in the corner. 3.15 kilometers is not 2 kilometers, but nevertheless, here we are. You can see yellow birches, cedars, maples. It's a very nice, shady little spot. And we're gonna have a look at the map and just see how much farther it is to our next site. We are just a bit worried about water because we've sort of been reduced to, look at that bloody one, boiling. Because the filter is not working. I need to pick up a new filter and a new hose. I did not realize. So we're kind of making do. Alright. So we did the hike from wherever we were last to Pretty Pond, which was about 3.4 kilometers. We're out of water, and our next spot is about almost 2 kilometers straight line distance, and we don't really know what that means as far as actually traveling on the trail. And so we're gonna stop. There's like the tiniest trickle of water here, but it looks pretty clean, and we don't want to boil it, so I'm dismantling the filter. Do you want to try and rinse that one off? It's like a paper filter on my Catadine, and if I can get at this, we're gonna try and scrub it with a toothbrush. I don't
think it'll come apart, but here.
Yeah, it might be fixed in there. Like it's all gunked up in there. Now the last time I rinsed it off, I didn't take that sleeve off. So if I swish this around in relatively clean water, it might dislodge some of this buildup.
Do you want to bang?
Banging on something?
Yeah.
Maybe. And just to get some more flow, like right now it's dripping. It takes like half an hour to fill a water bottle, and that is not cool. Give a little rinse. A little rinse and wrap, and it's ready to rock. I know it seems like this bag filter is giving us trouble, but I really, really like it. Don't get me wrong. Okay, we'll go scoop. This little patch of water is too small to dip the filter in, so we're just using a little fry pan. What do you think our chances are of getting some water out of this, babe?
I think pretty good.
Somewhere between 0 and 100%.
I would say at least 60%.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, we strap it to the pack and just let it like drip filter into a water bottle that's in a side pocket.
Fingers crossed.
See that drip down there?
Oh, well, it's going okay.
Well,
It's better than it was this morning.
I think that's about the same.
Okay.
It'll be pretty slow. So the other thing to check is just that there's not an obstruction up here, and we can check that by poking it with a stick, I think, and hopefully not obstructing it more with stick bits. I think it has to be a stick that's kind of the same diameter. Oh, I think there's more water coming off my hand than was coming out that hose. Let's try it again now. This part looks clean. Oh, I think it's going better. No, it's not. That is not very fast. Whew. We have carried on, and we thought we might go all the way to Ottertail Creek, but it is still early in the evening, but we've done a really long day. From Flurry Creek we did 8.65 kilometers, and we've done another, so that was to get to Boulder Creek. From Boulder Creek we've done another 2, and we are now at a site which, if you download the GPS points, is called Point Camp. So from here it's 1.9 kilometers straight line distance to get to the Ottertail Creek, and we're going to do that in the morning. So we're hoping to have a swim, a wash, a hot meal, a nice camp setup, wash some clothes, hang them up here, and then in the morning get an early start. Hike to the Ottertail Creek. Hike up the Ottertail Creek to the fjord, or the fording place, where we should be able to walk across the river. And then from there, it's about a 5 kilometer hike on a bush road. So we're expecting that part to go really, really fast. At least we're banking on it going pretty fast. And that's where my friend Jason is going to pick us up. That's our plan. Maybe I'll show you a little bit of the footage as we cook meals and things, or maybe not. But I will check in either tonight or tomorrow, and hopefully the bugs die down enough that I can get this net off my face. I've seen most of the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail through a bug net, I think.
It's hard to breathe.
It's hard to breathe, keeps your face warm, and it makes it hard to enjoy all the views and everything. C'est la vie. there we are. So we passed a good night here, packing up, and again, it's our last day, so we're heading out. That's the do an update later. So my battery's gonna die in under 2 minutes, and I have my backup battery, but I can't fit my camera in my case with the backup battery. It's too big. My case exactly fits my camera in here, so that's the microphone and the camera, and my backup battery sticks too far out the back of the camera because it's the big one, so I'll have to do manual switches later. We've arrived at Ottertail Creek from our campsite. So this is the Ottertail here, going into Lake Temiskaming. The blue trail leads you to a campsite on the point. We were 2.78 kilometers from our camp last night to this point this morning. So that was a not too bad of a hike. I guess we could have done it last night, but we were really happy with that other campsite. And we felt like today wasn't going to be too long of a day, and we do think that we're well on time for our pickup. We just have to hike up the Ottertail. There's a couple of good waterfalls on the way that I'll try and take some pictures of, and then we'll meet our my friend Jason, who's going to pick us up. Just coming up the trail, and this is the sort of the scenic rest stop. So this is the main upper falls of the Ottertail Creek. It's a really, really pretty spot. Well, there are a few mosquitoes here. Anything to add? Yeah. Alright. No, it's great. Hey, here it is. We are at the end. Or the start.
Or the start.
Depending on which end you're starting at. This is the southern end of the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail. We now just have to cross Ottertail Creek, find a spot to wade or walk across on these boulders, and then there's a logging road that about 5 kilometers will take us out to our pickup. It's Sunday. It is before noon, and we are a little bit elated.
Very elated.
Here's our pickup. There's our man.
Yeah, this is Meester's off-road pickup and delivery service. My first customer.
What's in here? Oh my god! Yum! Yeah, we made it out. It was 5.8 kilometers from the river to here, and that concludes our journey. Hope you enjoyed the following along and seeing some of what we saw. Hopefully you, if you're interested, get a chance to hike the Ottawa Temiskaming Highland Trail. It was really fantastic. It's not easy, as you probably gather, but highly recommended. It seemed like very few people hike this trail. There's lots of firewood. The campsites are always empty that I've been through, Delphine and I, so it's a nice out-of-the-way place to go. Might have a few more anecdotal points to add to this video, or that might be a wrap.